Nolan Walls' family is officially under attack. The white supremacist has apparently finally caught up to this story, and they're making up for their absence, right? They are rapidly going to work to go against this family because apparently any level of sympathy or empathy for Black trauma and Black pain is unacceptable to them. Own white supremacist Alex Rosen took to Twitter to call the Nolan Walls investigation a Nickspiracy. Curtis from Newsbusters and Jason Rentz from News Nation, they're now calling this Nolan Walls investigation a race hustle. So Curtis Hogg wrote, I'm glad Jason Rantz covered the Nolan Walls case and asked the question a lot of us are asking, why are his parents teaming up with race hustlers Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton to imply, without any evidence thus far, that a gang of white people murdered their son? That's their guilty conscience speaking. Benjamin Crump never said that. Nolan Walls' family never said that. Benjamin Crump is an attorney. Benjamin Crump has been an attorney for decades. If you think Benjamin Crump, an attorney, is going to come out and say, yeah, I think Warren, Wyatt, Eric, and Jax, I think they murdered Nolan Wells, that's not how that works. He's smarter than that. What Benjamin Crump did say, though, we demand the truth. We demand to know what happened. We demand a full investigation into this. But we don't trust the police in Oceanside is going to do the investigation that's thorough, so we're going to launch our own private investigation. What problem do you, how's it a race hustle if somebody comes in, pay their own money to launch their own private investigation? They have not said, I think Warren killed Nolan. They have not said, I think Eric killed Nolan. They have not said, I think Wyatt killed Nolan. All they said is things are not adding up. Like deleted Snapchat messages or the alleged altercation with Nolan.
The family of Nolan Wells is skeptical of local Mississippi law enforcement. They hired civil rights attorney Ben Crump to conduct an independent investigation into their son's death. During a press conference today with Reverend Al Sharpton and Wells' parents by his side, Crump claimed law enforcement can't be trusted when Black children are killed. This before they even got any substantive details about the investigation.
Oftentimes, when our children are killed in highly questionable situations, that there is this notion that, oh, it was nothing wrong, no foul play, let's just sweep it under the rug. Well, we refuse to sweep it under the rug. We refuse to just let Nolan Wells' death be in vain. We're going to make sure that we get to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
They played an audio and a clip of a man saying, we're gonna get down to the truth. The truth and nothing but the truth. Whatever that truth is, we're gonna get down to that truth and we're gonna get the answers to a lot of these questions that are unanswered. And we're gonna find an answer to a lot of these things that we just don't understand right now. And they say, race hustler, he's race, how? Nolan Wells' family was asked, do they believe this was a race thing? The family was not willing to commit to this being a race thing yet. That shows you their intention. You think these good people said, yeah, oh yeah, I wish my son was murdered? You think these good people whose son is already dead is wishing, praying, and hoping that their son went through torment and pain within his death? His death is already bad enough, but you think they are wishing and hoping that their son was tortured and murdered before his death? Are y'all crazy? Clearly not. The father even said, man, he hopes it's not a race thing. They just want answers. How is seeking answers through a private investigation race hustling?
Do you think race might be a factor?
Like my wife said, I don't want to believe that, but it's just it's so many things have happened, and so many things have been swept under the rug. Like I said, Nolan didn't see color. He saw people for who they are, and I used to always tell him, "Son, you need to go out there close because everyone is not going to reciprocate that same love that you give." I just want transparency. I just want to know what happened to my son.
Does that sound like race hustling to you? It doesn't. Now, we on YouTube, like myself, I've said I think Nolan Walls was murdered. I think he was murdered. I think, in my opinion, I think he was murdered. But don't put my opinion on the parents. Don't put my opinion on Benjamin Crump. They've never went as far as to say that. All they've said is we want a proper investigation. We want for things to be looked into. And the fact that y'all are quick to come out and call these people race hustlers and say they're blaming white folks, how are they blaming white folks? They haven't even said who murdered Nolan Wells yet. They haven't even committed to Nolan Wells being murdered. All they said is, we want the truth. How does we want the truth turn into an attack on white folks? I don't understand this at all, man. Not one bit. How does we want the truth turn into, oh, they saying he was murdered by a gang of evil white folks. Oh, no. They're trying to vilify white folks. How? But what's even worse is the Uncle Ruckuses who are joining in with white supremacists to attack Nolan Wells' family and the people who are stepping in to help Nolan Wells. I watched one video where this dude stated that Tyler Perry stepping in to pay for Nolan Wells' funeral is race hustling and making it worse. I couldn't even comprehend that statement, bro. What do you mean making it worse?
So Tyler Perry decided to add fuel to the fire by offering to pay for Nolan's funeral. Of course, everybody understands the narratives that come behind this shit.
Nigga, what? What? Yo, some of y'all don't deserve internet access, man. Some of y'all just don't deserve it. These are actual words that came out of somebody's mouth. These are actual words that came out of somebody's mouth. This man says Tyler Perry paying for Nolan Wells' funeral is adding to the fire. How? Nolan Wells, his family are not allowed to call for a private investigation without being called race hustlers. Now, Tyler Perry, who haven't even given a statement on this situation, Tyler Perry hasn't chimed in, Tyler Perry hasn't spoken on the situation, Tyler Perry has not implied or made any type of accusations as y'all claim Nolan Wells' parents are making for asking for an investigation. Tyler Perry simply paid for Nolan Wells' funeral, and they're saying he's race hustling, he's adding to the fire. See what I mean when I say it's not even about nothing they're talking about. It's just simply empathy for black pain is unacceptable. That's it. Tyler Perry has not given a statement, has not said a goddamn thing about anything. Tyler Perry paid for Nolan Wells' funeral because Tyler Perry believes that Nolan Wells' family right now is going through a very tough time and that Nolan Wells deserves a ceremonious going home ceremony. He deserves something great. He deserves his funeral to be paid for. He deserves for his family not to be doing a GoFundMe to bury him and send him off. And they're calling that race hustling. They're saying that is adding to the fire. Who is that adding to the fire for? Who exactly is upset that Nolan Wells is getting a funeral home? Who is upset that Tyler Perry is paying for the funeral so Nolan Wells' family don't got to fundraise and start a GoFundMe and burden themselves with trying to raise money for his untimely death? That's what upsets you guys? That's what's boiling your heart? Like, y'all are some sick human beings, bruh. Y'all are terrible. And this is coming from a black person. This is the shocking part about it. This is coming from somebody who looked like Nolan Wells. Somebody who should be able to identify with Nolan Wells and saying, Tyler Perry is race hustling and adding to the fire for paying for Nolan Wells' funeral. He knows what he's doing. And then he continues to list irrelevant things about Tyler Perry and his motives for his movies, as if that has anything to do with Tyler Perry paying for Nolan Wells' funeral, because everyone deserves a funeral.
The white boys did it. The white boys did it. White supremacy, white supremacy. I mean, what more can you expect from a man who literally makes a living off of making trauma movies for black women? How about somebody steps up? How about somebody says, let's wait on the evidence?
I want to remind y'all, when he says, what more can you expect from a dude who, what more that can you expect? He's talking about Tyler Perry paying for the funeral. Again, Tyler Perry has not said a word. He's not given a statement yet. Tyler Perry has paid for Nolan Wells' funeral. And because Tyler Perry has paid for Nolan Wells' funeral, a black man is upset about that. A black man believes that Nolan Wells' funeral do not deserve to be paid for. And that if you pay for somebody's funeral, you are now saying that this man was murdered by a group of white folks. Or what if this kid was murdered, or this kid died Now I say murder. Tyler Perry nor Nolan Wells' family have said murder, but let's just say, okay, this kid has died. It's no clue how he died. He has died. What about, bro, I feel bad for this kid. He lost his life. He was only 18, 19 years old. I wouldn't pay for his funeral because I feel bad for his death. Is that an option? Is that an option?
Let's wait on the facts. Besides jumping to conclusions. Y'all did this exact same shit with Carmelo Anthony, and you motherfuckers got embarrassed. But y'all are so insufferable. Besides apologizing or admitting to being wrong, y'all just move on like nothing happened. Start a fire, cause racial chaos.
The worst part about that video, dude actually thought he was cooking and making sense. And that's the sad part. Like, in his head, he's this free thinker who's going against the system. Bro, you just a dummy. Now, he's not the last Uncle Ruckus to go off on the family. Jason Whitlock, before he even got a chance to say condolences and say rest in peace to Nolan Wells, because again, this is still an 18-year-old kid who lost his life. Jason Whitlock was already on his show vilifying the family and Benjamin Crump and centering this entire tragedy around white folks and their feelings.
Stop killing our children, son of a... We don't care if you think you're rich.
If we can pretend, if we can lie to ourselves that, hey, we're not the problem, we get to act like, hey, black culture is normal and it's no different than anybody else's and it doesn't need to be corrected or fixed. Don't you listen to the hardcore rock music that white people listen to? They've got the same problem. And then they dismiss, and perhaps it's because we don't understand data, we don't understand math, maybe we've been so poorly educated, we don't know that 2 + 2 = 4. We don't understand per capita. We don't understand that, you're far more on a percentage basis based on the data. You're far more to be hurt in an all black crowd than an all white crowd, because white people don't turn to deadly violence as quickly as black people. That's just a fact. People are literally begging, praying that one of these white kids killed this black boy. And they can't wait. They're sitting around dreaming of the tweets that they're going to send to me and you and anybody else that was like, hey, man, let's just wait on the facts. Let's wait on the autopsy. Doesn't seem likely that the kids killed it. But I'm telling you, even if one of these kids killed him or got in a fight with him or wrestled with him and he doesn't change one single word that I'm saying here. Because regardless of race, played no role in whatever happened to him.
There is this obsession with ambulance chasing when the races are mixed.
He went even further and said, even if it's discovered that Nolan Wells was murdered by his group of white friends, race will still not be a factor in this situation. Okay, then let's go by that train of logic. Okay, let's assume Nolan Wells was murdered. You said race still wouldn't be an issue. Once or if we find out Nolan Wells was murdered, do you think the police will damn near close an investigation an hour after the body is discovered? If this was a white kid? You think the police will come out and say, no foul play, if this was a white kid? You think the police will reverberate like this, this sense of annoyance at the family even asking, hey, what about this altercation video? Yo, what about this? What about this? If this was a white kid? You think if Warren Hudson, who's the son of the judge, was in Nolan's position, you think this would be a shut and close case? You think the police wouldn't be pulling up and harassing all those black kids he was with trying to figure out what happened? You think these kids will be allowed to flow under the radar? You think these kids will be allowed to have Warren's phone in their possession with no reasonable explanation as to why certain things were missing from that phone when the family got it? You think the police wouldn't be putting belt to behind? You think the police wouldn't do a press conference by now? So clearly it's a race thing. Clearly, Nolan Wells being a black kid put him in a disadvantageous position when it comes to the police doing their job. Y'all let me know in the comment section, man. What do you guys think about this, okay? If y'all think, that Benjamin Crump or anybody who's calling for an investigation is a race hustler, let me know. If you think that anybody trying to dismiss this is a sellout, let me know, all right? If you enjoy this content and want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here somewhere on my screen, where I break down why I fear for NBA YoungBoy safety after this really, really, really bad crash out he did last night. I'm gonna see you guys in this NBA YoungBoy video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.